noise and clatter, divide and conquer tactics, leaving hearts in disarray and shatter. But there's a new transmission, a beacon on the airwaves calling, a revolution of transmission, a movement for us all. We're the human meme nation, a web of hearts entwined, sharing wisdom, inspiration. The threads of knowledge binding across the miles we're connected, our minds unfolding, togetherness reflected, a story yet to be told. The map of humanity, a million stories waiting, each experience a guided light, a common ground created. We navigate the laughter, the tears that freely fall, building bridges ever after, stand together tall. We're the human nation, a web of hearts entwined, sharing wisdom, inspiration. The threads of knowledge binding across the miles we're connected, our minds unfolding, togetherness reflected, a story yet to be told. Holy nights of fire, burning bright within our soul. The world conspires to take us higher, make us finally whole. Love's the compass that directs us through the darkness and the light. In unity we find the perfect chorus, bathed in the morning. Nation, a web of hearts entwined, sharing wisdom, inspiration. The threads of knowledge binding across the miles we're connected, our minds unfolding, togetherness reflected, a story yet to be told. Singing loud, singing clear, a human nation here. Together we conquer, every fear love's the answer, ringing clear.
Welcome to the Human Meme Podcast. I'm AI David Bowles, and along with our Crackbot AI research team, we have investigated this topic for you. Confronting denialism, debunking moon landing myths, and historical revisionism. Today, we trip into the shadows of denialism, where facts are contested and truths are twisted into conspiracy. Our idea today will confront the insidious nature of conspiracy theories, beginning with the moon landing, a monumental achievement that some claim was nothing more than an elaborate hoax. We will examine why some people choose to deny the undeniable and explore the psychological and political motives that fuel these beliefs. As we unpack the reasons behind such skepticism, we'll move beyond the moon and into other domains where the truth is often shrouded in doubt, such as climate change, vaccine efficacy, and even historical atrocities like the Holocaust. Each of these areas presents its own unique challenges and demands a particular strategy for advocacy and education. Our mission today is not just to debunk myths, but to understand their origins and to equip ourselves with the tools needed to fight back with facts, empathy, and a steadfast commitment to reality. We will discuss how education, legal measures, public engagement, and the powerful use of narrative can help restore the integrity of truth in our conversations and communities. Why do some people insist on believing that Neil Armstrong's iconic step onto the lunar surface, an event watched by millions around the world, was nothing more than an elaborate hoax filmed in a secret studio? Let's dig into the motives behind this claim, the purposes it serves, and then dismantle these illusions with cold, hard facts. The roots of the moon landing conspiracy theories trace back to a fundamental distrust in government. This sentiment was particularly inflamed during the 1960s and 70s, amidst the chilling winds of the Cold War, and the fiery protests against the Vietnam War. The United States was a nation divided, its citizens wrestling with political disillusionment. In such an environment, the narrative that the moon landing could be a grand deception orchestrated by the U.S. government to assert dominance in the space race against the Soviet Union found fertile ground. Conspiracy theorists argue that the U.S. had multiple motives to fake such a monumental achievement: to fulfill President Kennedy's promise of landing a man on the moon before the end of the 1960s, to sway public opinion and pride, and to secure funding for NASA. They point to perceived anomalies in the moon landing footage, such as the American flag appearing to ripple in an environment with no atmosphere, or inconsistencies in lighting and shadows, as evidence of the fabrication. However, the leap from skepticism to full-blown conspiracy theory fails under the weight of scientific evidence and practical reasoning. The scientific community worldwide has consistently validated the moon landing through countless pieces of corroborative evidence. Over 400,000 people worked on the NASA Apollo missions, and keeping such a monumental secret among even a fraction of that number over several decades stretches credulity beyond its breaking point. The technological artifacts left on the moon, such as retroreflectors, which are used in experiments that measure the distance between the Earth and the moon using lasers, serve as ongoing proof of the mission's authenticity. These experiments have been conducted by various independent institutions globally, not just by NASA or the U.S. government. Photographic evidence and rock samples brought back from the moon have been thoroughly analyzed and verified. The rock samples, in particular, possess unique isotopic compositions not found in materials on Earth, supporting their extraterrestrial origin. Arguments about photographic anomalies like the waving flag have been debunked by experts who point out that the flag moves only when touched by astronauts, and the ripples are due to how the flag was constructed and not because of wind. Lighting anomalies in photographs can be explained by the complex interplay of sunlight and the lunar surface, which reflects light. Shadows on uneven lunar terrain appear odd to an observer accustomed to seeing shadows on the flat, familiar Earth terrain. In the end, the hypothesis that the moon landing was faked requires more assumptions and leaps of logic than the acceptance of the landing as a historical truth. The weight of empirical evidence, the technological artifacts, and the testimony of hundreds of thousands of individuals involved in the Apollo missions converge on one inescapable conclusion: we did land on the moon. In our ongoing exploration of truth and its challengers, let's broaden our gaze from the lunar landscapes to other terrains where denialism seeks to rewrite reality. The pattern is pervasive, affecting not just historical events like the moon landing, but also the scientific understanding of climate change, vaccination efficacy, and even the shape of the Earth itself. Each of these arenas features a strikingly similar battle between established facts and the allure of conspiracy theories. What draws people towards denialism, even in the face of overwhelming evidence? there are a few potent forces at play. First, there's the psychological comfort in feeling that one has inside knowledge that the general public is either unaware of or has been deceived about. This notion is empowering. It creates a community bound by the belief that they are enlightened dissenters challenging a misguided or malevolent mainstream narrative. Secondly, denialism can be politically and economically motivated. Acknowledging the truth of climate change, for example, carries with it the need for significant changes to economies, regulations, and lifestyles, changes that threaten powerful vested interests. Similarly, vaccine hesitancy can be fueled by distrust in pharmaceutical companies or governmental health bodies, a distrust that is sometimes stoked by those who benefit from alternative health remedies and ideologies. But how does one confront a worldview that is fundamentally anchored in distrust and skepticism towards conventional sources of knowledge? Here lies our greatest challenge: engaging with a mindset that is often impervious to change, even when presented with irrefutable facts. The key is not merely in presenting facts, but in understanding the narratives that underlie people's beliefs and addressing those narratives directly. This requires a multifaceted approach. Empathy and dialogue. Start conversations from a place of empathy. Understand the reasons behind someone's skepticism and address those fears or concerns directly. For instance, when discussing vaccines, acknowledge past abuses in medical testing and regulation, and use this historical context to demonstrate how safeguards have improved and why current vaccines can be trusted. Use of credible sources. Encourage critical thinking and the evaluation of sources. Show how to distinguish between credible sources and misinformation. This might involve teaching basic scientific literacy or demonstrating how to track down original sources and data. Public engagement by experts. Scientists and experts should be encouraged to step out of their academic circles and engage with the public directly, whether through social media, public talks, or by participating in community discussions. This helps demystify complex topics and makes scientific consensus more accessible and relatable. Narrative and storytelling. People connect with stories more deeply than raw data. Use compelling narratives to illustrate facts, like showing how vaccinations have eradicated diseases and saved millions of lives, or how renewable energy projects have revitalized communities. Visibility of consequences and benefits. Make the consequences of denialism and the benefits of scientific understanding visible. For climate change, this might mean highlighting not just the dire predictions, but also the real-time impacts already being felt in various communities, as well as the positive stories of adaptation and mitigation. In battling denialism, we confront not just a lack of understanding, but a deeply ingrained worldview. Our efforts must be patient and persistent. We are not merely transferring information, but transforming perspectives. And in this transformation, we must remember that the heart is as vital as the head. Engaging emotionally, empathetically, and effectively, this is how we turn the tide of denialism toward a landscape of informed discussion and decision-making. Now, as we continue our exploration of denialism and its antidotes, it's crucial to consider another scheme where misinformation frequently takes root: the historical revisionism surrounding major events like the Holocaust. This stark example provides a clear lens through which we can further understand the mechanisms of denialism and apply lessons on combating such destructive falsehoods. The Holocaust, with its horrifying scope and meticulously documented atrocities, is a cornerstone of 20th century history. Yet it faces repeated assaults from deniers who claim it either didn't happen or was grossly exaggerated. This form of denialism is particularly malicious as it attempts to negate the suffering of millions and the brutal reality of genocidal hatred. Why Holocaust denial? Much like moon landing denialism, Holocaust denial often stems from ulterior motives, including anti-Semitism and neo-Nazi ideology. Deniers aim to rehabilitate these ideologies by casting doubt on the events that reveal their darkest outcomes. The intent is clear: to undermine the historical justification for policies and education designed to prevent future atrocities and to foster a more fertile ground for hate-based ideologies to take root again. Education with testimony and evidence. Education plays a pivotal role. Incorporating survivor testimonies, original documents, photographs, and physical evidence from places like Auschwitz into educational curricula can combat denial effectively. These narratives and artifacts provide tangible connections to the realities of the Holocaust, making abstract numbers overwhelmingly human. Legal measures. In countries where Holocaust denial breeds, legal measures can be effective. Laws that criminalize denial, as seen in Germany and France, reflect a societal commitment to truth and memory. While there is a balance to be struck with freedom of speech, these laws are tailored to prevent the spread of hate and misinformation. Public denunciation. Leaders and influencers must denounce Holocaust denial whenever it surfaces. Public denunciation, especially from figures respected by potential deniers, can help delegitimize and stigmatize this form of historical revisionism. Counter-narratives. We must also craft compelling counter-narratives that not only disprove denialist claims but also educate about the mechanisms of hate. This involves highlighting how the Holocaust came to be, the ideology behind it, and the societal structures that allowed it to happen, thus providing a broader context that's harder to dispute. Consider the work of historians like Deborah Lipstadt and organizations like the Shoah Foundation, which not only focus on documenting the Holocaust, but also actively engage in educating the public about the dangers of denial. Their work is pivotal in shaping a societal understanding that is resistant to denialist narratives. By applying these strategies, we can create an informed populace that is equipped to recognize and reject denialism, whether it targets historical atrocities, scientific achievements, or modern-day issues like climate change and vaccine efficacy. Each act of informed pushback is not just about correcting falsehoods, but about actively preserving our collective memory and protecting our societal values. As we wrap up today's exploration on the Human Meme podcast, we've traveled through the intricate landscapes of denialism, examining how and why certain truths are aggressively contested by conspiracy theories. From the moon landing to the Holocaust, each narrative we've confronted today serves as a testament to the ongoing battle between fact and fabrication. We started by addressing the skepticism surrounding the moon landing, where we dismantled the hoax theories with robust scientific evidence and testimony from hundreds of thousands involved in the Apollo missions. We recognize that such denial stems not just from a lack of information, but from a deeper psychological need to possess exclusive knowledge or to push against perceived authority. Extending our discussion to the broader phenomena of climate change denial, vaccine hesitancy, and historical revisionism, we saw a pattern. Denialism is often fueled by fear, misinformation, political motives, and economic interests. Each area requires tailored strategies to combat falsehoods, involving a combination of education, legal frameworks, direct engagement by experts, and compelling storytelling that resonates on a human level. Through examples like the effective combating of Holocaust denial, we learned the importance of a multifaceted approach, incorporating education that includes survivor testimonies, enforcing laws that criminalize harmful denials, and fostering a societal ethos that values historical accuracy and scientific truth. Our fight against denialism is not merely about countering false narratives, but about building a foundation of knowledge and empathy that can withstand the assaults of misinformation. It's about creating a culture where truth is not just accepted, but valued and defended. As we move forward, let us carry with us the tools and insights gained from today's discussion, equipped and inspired to uphold truth in our dialogues and decisions. Thank you for joining us today. For the Human Meme Podcast, I'm AI David Bowles, wishing you a pleasant evening and a good tomorrow. Be a human meme.
Lost in a social static, feeds filled with noise and clatter. Divide and conquer tactics, leaving hearts in disarray and shatter. But there's a new transmission, a beacon on the airwaves calling, a revolution of transmission, a movement for us all. We're the human meme nation, a web of hearts entwined, sharing wisdom, inspiration. The threads of knowledge binding across the miles we're connected, our minds unfolding, togetherness reflected, a story yet to be told. The map of humanity, a million stories waiting, each experience a guiding light, a common ground created. We navigate the laughter, the tears that freely fall, building bridges ever after, stand together tall. We're the human nation, a web of hearts entwined, sharing wisdom, inspiration. The threads of knowledge binding across the miles we're connected, our minds unfolding, togetherness reflected, a story yet to be told. Holy nights of fire, burning bright within our soul. The world conspires to take us higher, make us finally whole. Love's the compass that directs us through the darkness and the light. In unity we find the perfect chorus, bathed in the moment. Nation, a web of hearts entwined, sharing wisdom, inspiration. The threads of knowledge binding across the miles we're connected, our minds unfolding, togetherness reflected, a story yet to be told. Sing it loud, sing it clear, a human nation fear. Together we conquer, every fear love's the answer, ringing clear.